Have you ever met people who almost never trust compliments, who always have to double-check every piece of information others tell them, or who can spot lies with a sensitivity that surprises everyone around them? Most of us usually think those are just part of their personality. But child psychologists have noticed a much deeper connection. When a child grows up in an environment where parents constantly twist the truth, hide reality, make promises, and then completely forget them, or rewrite events that clearly happened, the child's brain is forced to adapt in very special ways. As a result, many people who grew up with lying parents carry 3 striking traits with them well into adulthood. These traits make them more observant, more careful, but also more emotionally exhausted than most people around them. What is remarkable is that a great number of people who have these traits have no idea where they truly came from. They simply think, "I was just born this way." But once you understand these 3 traits clearly, you may start looking at your childhood and at yourself in a completely different light. And the 3rd trait is the one psychologists warn can quietly affect almost every relationship you have without you even realizing it. Let's go straight into each one. Trait number 1, extremely sensitive pattern recognition. When you grow up with parents who lie a lot, home is no longer a safe place. It becomes a psychological minefield. Normal children can come home, drop their backpacks, and truly relax. You, on the other hand, had to learn how to read the atmosphere before you even stepped through the door. You knew your mother was lying about the family finances just from the aggressive way she put down her car keys. You could tell your father was about to break another important promise because his voice rose exactly half an octave, a tiny detail only you noticed. Psychologists call this hyper-vigilance, but in reality it is a nightmare that drains you day after day. Your brain was forced to register every tiny expression, every shift in tone, every heavy footstep in the hallway, because reality kept changing right in front of you. One day a broken vase was treated as a funny accident. The next day your parents insisted you smashed it on purpose so they could take out their frustration on you. When the people who were supposed to protect you were the ones rewriting history, your brain decided it could never rest. You started noticing everything. A co-worker pausing 2 seconds too long before praising your presentation, your partner slightly shifting their phone on the dinner table in a way that felt a little forced. This is a special ability, but it is also a heavy burden you never asked to carry. You can spot a liar from a long distance because you spent a full 18 years living with the Olympic champions of deception. You are not paranoid. You were simply trained by the very people who should have given you a peaceful, secure childhood. Trait number 2, an almost compulsive need to verify everything yourself. This is the trait that makes outsiders often think you are being excessive, especially people who grew up with emotionally stable parents. If someone says it is going to rain, you do not just say thank you and grab an umbrella. You immediately open 3 different weather apps, check the radar, and look out the window yourself just to be sure. Deep down, human words hold almost no value for you. Throughout the years when your personality was forming, your parents kept saying things like, "We're going to the amusement park this weekend," and then later claimed, "We never promised to buy you that outfit," or "You're just remembering it wrong." Your brain learned a harsh and painful lesson. Only concrete, clear evidence can be trusted. That is why you became an adult who constantly double-checks everything and cannot stop. You check flight times 4 times even after your friend already sent you the screenshot. You check the front door lock again, even though you watched yourself turn the key just 5 seconds earlier. You struggle to accept compliments because your brain instantly suspects there is a hidden motive or agenda behind the kind words. When someone says, "You look nice today," you do not feel kindness. You feel a threat. The questions that immediately appear in your mind are, "What do they want from me?" or "What are they hiding?" This trait makes you an outstanding employee, because you almost never make careless mistakes from lack of checking. But in everyday life, it leaves you constantly exhausted. You keep having to verify reality again and again, because childhood taught you that reality can change whenever it benefits someone else, and you have never been able to forget that lesson. Trait number 3, complete emotional self-reliance, combined with difficulty co-regulating emotions with others. This is the point psychologists especially emphasize because it can quietly destroy adult relationships if you do not actively work on it. When parents lie to you consistently, they break the fundamental attachment contract of childhood. A child is supposed to be able to rely on parents for emotional safety. When the child is upset, they go to their parents, receive comfort, and their nervous system gradually learns how to calm down. But with parents who chronically lie, gaslight, or twist reality, going to them for comfort is like asking an arsonist to put out a fire. If you cried because they hurt your feelings, they would tell you that you were being too sensitive or that the incident never happened. So what did your small child's brain do to protect itself? It completely shut down the pathway of vulnerability. You stopped asking for help. You stopped showing when you were hurt. You built a thick, almost icy wall of emotional self-reliance. You became the person who always says, "I can handle it. I don't need anyone. Just let me do it myself." In adulthood, this turns into a deep discomfort with closeness. When a partner tries to get closer or offers support during a hard time, you do not feel loved. You feel suffocated and deeply suspicious. Your body goes into fight or flight mode because letting someone see your vulnerability feels like handing them a weapon. You would rather carry the stress and exhaustion alone until you are drained than ask for a helping hand, because childhood taught you that hands are often extended only to trick you or to pull the rug out from under you at any moment. Growing up with lying parents means you were robbed of a stable foundation of reality from your earliest years. You had to play psychological chess against the very people who gave you life, day after day. You are not weird, you are not broken, and you do not have any inherent flaw. You are a survivor of an unstable environment who developed complex coping mechanisms to keep your sanity intact amid the chaos. If you recognize yourself in these traits, do not treat them as proof that something is wrong with you. They are not weaknesses. They are survival adaptations. They are the tools your mind built to navigate an environment where truth was always shaky and emotional safety could never be fully trusted. Your highly sensitive pattern recognition can become a real strength when you use it to understand people more deeply, spot opportunities, and make wiser decisions. Just be careful not to let it turn into constant suspicion. Not everyone is hiding something behind your back. Your need for independent verification can protect you from manipulation, scams, and poor choices. It can make you thoughtful, analytical, and hard to deceive. But remember that healthy relationships still require a certain degree of trust. Checking the facts is fine, but do not put every person on trial as if they are always guilty. And your emotional self-reliance is clear evidence of your resilience. You learned how to stand on your own when you felt you had no other choice but to carry everything yourself. The goal is not to erase these traits, but to help them evolve in a healthier direction. What once protected you as a child can now become the foundation for your growth as an adult. Your past has shaped you, but it does not have to limit you forever. The same traits that helped you survive can now help you build a life that finally feels safe, honest, and genuinely fulfilling. Turn off the constant radar, put down the fact-checking apps, and allow yourself to truly breathe. Childhood is over. From now on, you are the one who gets to decide what is real for yourself.